When I have a day of heading from client to client, I always make sure that I have food with me from home so I don't have to stop. And while it seems like this might be the healthiest option, did you know that some of the containers we're packing our healthy food in are so toxic to our health? Most lunch containers, even the ones labeled BPA-free, can still leach toxins like phthalates, PVC, and other endocrine disruptors into your food, even the ones we thought were safe. And while this might be really overwhelming to hear because you might have to start changing out what you have in your house, I have some very easy to follow steps that will take you through the whole process without overwhelm. This week I'm breaking down exactly how to make easy, low stress swaps and how to shop for truly non-toxic food containers. And as always, I am sharing with you my Healthy House approved picks for toxin-free lunch boxes and lunch containers. With school around the corner, this is the perfect place to start stepping out on the right, healthy foot to make sure you're setting yourself up for success all year long. Welcome back. I am Amanda. I'm a building biology practitioner, a certified home inspector, and a healthy home expert. I'm the owner and creator of Healthy House on the Block, where we create spaces and homes that really support your health and wellness. They don't burden it down through unnecessary toxin exposure. And this week we are covering lunch boxes and lunch containers that we're taking out of our house, because the truth is our kitchens are a place that we really need to focus on because our food is touching these surfaces and we can see a lot of unnecessary exposure through materials. So I'm just going to say it, there really is no plastic that is truly 100% safe or healthy for kids' lunchbox options. Even if the product says BPA-free or PVC-free, there's still other toxins present that are not regulated but still dangerous. So bisphenol toxins like BPA, BPS, and BPF, and there are others on top of this, have started to become more regulated. However, just a word of warning, something that is BPA-free probably also has bisphenol toxins like BPS, which is actually more dangerous and less regulated. So bisphenol toxins mimic estrogen and disrupt our natural hormone production. Now, in the US, studies have shown that nearly all of us have BPA toxins inside our bodies, which really means that we're being exposed to this toxin in large amounts that our bodies are unable to keep up with naturally, getting rid of it before more of it enters our body. Bisphenol toxins have been linked to obesity, especially in children, impaired learning and memory, aggression behaviors, increased risk of type 2 diabetes, and impaired glucose tolerance, altered liver function, impaired reproductive function, and early onset puberty. Polyvinyl chloride, or PVC, is made up of a slew of toxic chemicals that are harmful to humans and especially our kids. PVC plastic releases toxins such as dioxins and phthalates during its life cycle, which we come in contact with during the use of these plastics. The human body has been negatively affected by these toxins, and over time, the chemicals have been shown to cause cancer, harm the immune system, and negatively affect the reproductive system. Phthalates are a type of toxin within plastic that is highly unregulated. This means that the toxin can be in any plastic you or your kids come in contact with, and legally, no one needs to even let you know about it. So phthalates build up in our body as we are exposed to them, and because of this, the body has a hard time detoxifying it fast enough. In fact, an EPA study showed that most children's bodies contain well over the allotted limit. Phthalate exposure has been linked to abnormal reproductive development as well as neurological toxicity in kids and adults. Now, some phthalates are also known endocrine disruptors, meaning they hinder our natural hormone production and can in turn cause issues with thyroid, immune system, and the reproductive process. An in-depth study also states that recent studies show that prenatal exposure to phthalates is associated with adverse impacts on neurodevelopment, including lower IQ and problems with attention and hyperactivity and poor social communication. So the good news about styrene is that it is not an endocrine disruptor. However, there are other problems that this toxin exposure poses causes for those who come in contact with it, even at low exposure rates. The big red flag is that styrene is classified as a mutagen. It also means it's potentially carcinogenic to humans. In fact, styrene has been anticipated to be a possible carcinogen to humans, as it already has been shown as carcinogenic to animals. Styrene also has many harmful side effects on the central nervous system, causing significant negative changes to the nervous system itself. It's also been shown to cause memory loss, difficulties in concentration and learning, brain and liver damage. In line with these cognitive issues, styrene has also been linked to poor visual and sensory function in those with moderate exposure to this chemical. Now, in pregnant women, styrene exposure at moderate levels has been linked to low birth weight as well as reduced fertility in otherwise healthy women. And finally, styrene is a contributor to chronic diseases and accelerates the onset and progression of these diseases in otherwise healthy individuals. Are you a little unsure about where you even should be starting with the Healthy House? Like, what are the first steps? After 10 plus years of hands-on experience, I know what those first steps are, and I know the steps to take that won't have you spending lots of money in the beginning, but will get you excited for all of the changes and all the potential that your house has. The truth is, creating a healthy house doesn't have to be really expensive. It doesn't have to be really complicated. You just have to know the exact steps to take. Anybody can check things off a list, and that's exactly what I'm here to help you do. My free ebook is an amazing resource to help you get started on getting toxins out of your house and creating healthier habits, and also planning for the future for some of those bigger changes. So let's talk about some better options. Stainless steel is an excellent option when it comes to kids' lunchboxes, and I love that they're basically indestructible and aren't going to be super heavy for them to carry around either. A high-grade stainless steel, such as surgical grade or 188 or 1810, is best, as it won't have any aluminum, chromium, or nickel present in that material. Reusable snack bags, gallon bags, and sandwich bags are perfect to have on hand for snacks or separating food in your kids' lunchboxes. I do like food grade silicone or platinum silicone for this purpose. However, silicone should not be heated up or warmed, and so we want to make sure that it is packed with some sort of way to keep it cool during the day. So I think glass is kind of the OG of non-toxic materials. Glass containers are often very durable, and despite what you might think, they really don't break all that often. You can find glass containers that have a little silicone sleeve on them to protect them even more when little hands are holding them. And it's also usually a pretty inexpensive swap when you're switching from plastic to non-toxic materials. Now, as a side note, we love glass because it can usually go right in the oven or the toaster oven for a quick reheat. You can also do paper. So paper products like sandwich paper, butcher paper, and parchment paper are great additions to your inventory for lunchtime. We just want to make sure they don't contain any sort of silicone and that they haven't been bleached. So most of them are toxin-free and can be really handy to quickly wrap something up that might not need an entire container. Plus, if your kids are anything like mine, you might hesitate sending containers to school for fear that you may never see them again. So paper is a great option for this when you don't want to send something that needs to come back home, and it can be recycled instead. So building a healthier kitchen doesn't mean that you have to throw everything out overnight. There's definitely something to a slow, mindful transition. It's better for both you, your wallet, and the planet. So the first thing you can do is to declutter the old. Toss broken or worn out plastic pieces, stained pieces or scratched ones, or even ones that you just don't find yourself using anymore. Step 2 is to swap the most used items out first. So focus on those daily use items, like maybe a sandwich container or snack bag or water bottle. And then my trick is to build in layers. So you can add a reusable bag to a grocery shopping order, or next time you go to buy a box of snack bags, also purchase with it 1 or 2 reusable silicone bags. Then you can start to add a bento box here and there and insulated jars over time. You don't have to do it all at once. So while you're transitioning, if you're keeping a little bit of plastic around to store food because you just don't have enough glass or stainless steel pieces, remember that even in a pinch, we don't want to microwave our food really at all, but definitely don't heat up plastic in the microwave or pour hot foods into plastic containers. Make sure they're completely cooled off by the time you decide to use it. And of course, on the blog this week, I'm sharing with you all of my toxin-free kids lunch items to go. As a building biology practitioner and a mom myself, I've seen firsthand how these small swaps can reduce toxin exposure and improve your wellness over time. A kid's lunchbox might seem like a very minor detail, but it's used hundreds of times throughout the year, and that really adds up. So by switching to non-toxic materials, you're protecting your child's health at a cellular level and creating a ripple effect of positive impacts on their hormones, their behavior, and their immune system. I hope you were able to take at least one idea away from this week's video and apply it in your own home. If you found this video helpful, definitely give it a like and be sure to subscribe to my channel because I am here every single week with new tips and ideas on how to create a space that truly supports your health and your wellness.